We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry, with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. All backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All That's News, your afternoon local news, traffic, and weather update with Matt Lane. Weekday afternoons, 4:40 until all sports talk on News Radio WGNS. The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning. Welcome into the Roundtable here on WGNS on this Wednesday. Chip Walters here from Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and the Blue Raider Network. Glad to have you with us today. And Brian Barrett is here. And Brian, we're getting closer and closer toward high school district tournament time. A lot of stuff going to start popping here soon.
Yeah, 2 or 3 games left. So this week and next week, and then we'll be starting district tournaments all around the state of Tennessee, and that mad dash toward March.
When they all end up back here in Rutherford County in Murfreesboro. But who have you got this coming up this week, later this week? I know we've got some games that have been makeup games due to snow and all the ones that were already scheduled, so a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, so there are several. I think we're almost done with those who were backed up because of the snow. So we're going to head to Laverne and Stewart's Creek on Friday night, catch up with those in District 7-4A to see how that's going down there. And that'll be on Friday night. Then we've got a couple of big ones next week, including Oakland Blackman, which looks like it could be maybe for the girls' district championship next week. So should have some good ones coming down the stretch.
Good deal. And a busy day on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, very busy with Coach's Show. And then we've got Lady Raiders. I think it's 11:30. Is that right?
No, 1:30.
1:30. Yeah, that was 11:30 last week. 1:30 with the Hilltoppers, and then you've got the men's game later that evening.
Yep. So if you want to make the double dip, the schedule is such where you can do that. 2 o'clock for the women's game here in Murfreesboro, and 7 o'clock in Bowling Green.
And you can make it there without breaking traffic laws?
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. Of course, Mayor Carr's sheriff's deputies will be out there checking to make sure. So anyway, appreciate it, Brian. Yeah. All right, today we're going to talk about, we got a really good guy here today. I've grown a friendship with him over the last few years, and that is Jonathon McGuire, who is the local McDonald's franchisee. And Jonathon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chip. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. You got your kids out to Rockvale, got everybody delivered this morning, right?
I did. We ran a little late, so my 16-year-old who's learning to drive didn't get to take her own little car. We had to ride in my truck, but I told her last night, if you get dressed on time, we'll be able to take your car. Otherwise, Daddy's got to drive.
There you go. There you go. And Jonathon and his company, McGuire Management, are the local franchisee for McDonald's restaurants. And Jonathon, I go back to knowing Sam McAllister when he owned the McDonald's stores, and they've changed hands a couple of times, and now you and your group. Kind of give us a little background on how it all kind of got started.
Well, I mean, it all got started. If you want the complete story, you got to go all the way back to 1974, which was before I was born, when my father was working at a little restaurant in Glasgow, Kentucky, and was told that they were going to have to cut back on staff, and he was the youngest person there, so. He was the one that was going to be cut back, so he looked across the street and they were moving a bulldozer around, and he went and climbed up on the bulldozer and asked them what they were building, and they said that's going to be a McDonald's. And his first question was, "What's that?" His second question was, "How do I get a job?" He got put in touch with the gentleman that was going to be building that McDonald's restaurant there in Glasgow, Kentucky, and ended up getting hired on as a manager trainee and worked from there. Fast forward all the way until I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was running computer software. I was working for many different companies doing computer software, and Dad and I started talking, and He had 6 restaurants by that time. He had worked his way all the way up until he was able to purchase his first restaurant in 1990. Let's see, that would be 1998.
So he was with them for 24 years.
He was, yeah.
Before he bought a restaurant.
He worked for 3 different independent owner-operators or independent franchisees throughout, up and down I-65, from Glasgow, Kentucky down to Huntsville, Alabama, finally settled in Smyrna, Tennessee, and was able to purchase his first restaurant in 1998, built up to 6 by 2012, I believe it was, when we first started talking. I was wanting to venture out and do my own software company after being over 20 years in the computer software business, working for corporations. And he said, I'm going to need an exit strategy at some point, so why don't you partner up with me, and we'll work on having a way for you to purchase my company. And I said, Dad, I can't work for you. We're too much alike. We are both pig-headed and strong-willed, and I don't think it's going to work. And I don't want to lose my daddy. So
part of the key to that is recognizing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I am so much like my dad. I'm so proud of him. But we ended up partnering up. He said, we'll be partners, and we partnered up. And the plan was within 5 years, I was going to buy those 6 restaurants that he had. I built him one, I built me one, I bought 2. Then we came into Murfreesboro in 2017. I had the opportunity to buy, like you said, Sam McAllister and others had owned these restaurants over time. In 2017, there were 9 restaurants in Murfreesboro. 5 of them were, there were 10 restaurants in Murfreesboro. 5 of them were owned by McDonald's Corporation. 4 of them were owned by another father-son group out of Cookeville, Tennessee. And we had the opportunity to purchase the 5 restaurants from McDonald's. And when we ventured upon buying those 5 restaurants, the group out of Cookeville said, I've got the opportunity to buy other restaurants from McDonald's Corporation closer to home. Why don't you buy our 4 as well? So that left us with 9 restaurants in Murfreesboro, and there was 1 left. And so Dad and I bought on November the 2nd of 2017. We bought the 5 from McDonald's Corporation. On November the 14th, we bought the 4 from the other group.
Wow.
And
that was
then
a busy week.
That month was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And I was able to purchase the last store in Murfreesboro over off Church Street in 2020. That's a story in itself, because we had a handshake agreement before COVID hit, and in the middle of COVID, when we all thought we were going to go bankrupt, I bought a restaurant, and just God has continued to bless us, and here we are. And we just built our 11th restaurant here in Murfreesboro, 21st overall, just off of Veterans Parkway. Opened it up right before Christmas for a soft opening, did a grand opening just early January.
You sure did, and that one's gotten off, I think, to a pretty good start for you.
It has. Yeah. We're still getting the team together, and we're growing faster than we anticipated as far as business goes, and we're still hiring over there, and we're hiring at all of our locations because business continues to grow. I was listening to the show that was on earlier this morning, and they were talking about how the growth of Rutherford County in particular is just exceeding 3 times, I think they said, exceeding that of the state, and we are feeling it in our McDonald's restaurants. We're a good beacon for how successful a community is because everybody comes to us, even those who complain that we're going to ruin their skyline when we move into their neighborhood. They're the first ones in our drive-through. So we are a symbol of Americana, and we are a sense of normalcy. And you can tell by how busy we are, how good the community is doing and how fast they're growing. And I can tell you right now, we are growing leaps and bounds here in Murfreesboro.
So you've got 10 stores here in Murfreesboro, or 11 stores
11
now.
stores.
Where are the other 10?
So I've got 11 stores here in Murfreesboro. I've got 1 other in Rutherford County as well.
Okay.
Over in Smyrna, we have a restaurant right in front of the Nissan plant. That was an awesome store. My father actually...
Location,
Location. Used to be our busiest third shift store. Still continues to be a fantastic location. We've got 7 locations in Antioch, which are absolutely fantastic locations. Our flagship store is actually in Hickory Hollow, right there across the street from the old mall used to be. When that area started going through some tough times, and the economy in that area started to falter, the gentleman that my father worked for, and my father basically ran his company, they decided they're going to double down. They kept that store open, and then my father was able to buy that restaurant, and he doubled down even more, tore the whole thing down, and rebuilt a brand new building there in the midst of what others would consider economic turmoil in that area. And the area's caught up to us, and I tell you, it has been an absolute blessing of the business that we have over there. I've got a team that is second to none, just like all of my restaurants. I mean, they take pride in their store, and so 7 locations there. And then we've got 3 that we call the out markets, just because they are not centrally located with other stores. I've got the location out in Centerville, Tennessee, in the seat of Hickman County. White Bluff, Tennessee, they're over in Dixon County. And then we've got one right off of the interstate, I-65 at exit 46 in Columbia. So when you're heading down to 30A for your spring break, as we like to call it, Rutherford County South, going south, everybody stops in at exit 46 and sees my team down there in Columbia.
That's good. And growing up, I grew up in Columbia, and the family that brought in the first McDonald's restaurant there across from the hospital in Columbia, we all went to church together. So they were great community partners, and that's something that you've strived to do as well. And you talked about what your dad's view was in Antioch, and everybody knows the story of what has gone on in Antioch, and it's now enjoying its rebirth.
Absolutely.
And I would venture to say that your dad's loyalty and now your loyalty back to that community and what you all invested in that community has come back, and that community is paying you guys back.
And I believe that's a key to business is, be loyal is really a good mantra, and that's be loyal to your people. My employees are my McFamily. We call them our McFamily. I've got 1,200 employees. In a company our size and is spread out, you wouldn't think that, everybody would know each other. But within my company, pretty much everybody knows each other, even across such a large footprint as we've got. We stay in communication. We celebrate birthdays. We celebrate anniversaries. Just this morning, I saw on one of our communications channels, one of our employees over at our Thompson Lane location right across from the VA got her citizenship yesterday, and we're all celebrating that today. So, we're part of the community, and you got to be loyal to your people. You got to be loyal to your customers. You got to listen to them and understand what they want and what they expect out of you. You got to be loyal to your community and where you live. And I think that if you do that and you give back and you treat each other with kindness and the grace that God gave you, then I believe that you're going to be successful in business. You're going to be successful in life. And that's proven true. We've continued to be blessed. And, our goal is to be able to be blessings to others. And in order to do that, God has blessed us. So we just want to continue doing that. And, not much more you can say about that other than just be loyal.
Well, and the point that I really wanted to make with you, and part of the story is yes, McDonald's is a national brand. It's one of the most recognized logos in the entire world. But the way that, as I've gotten to know you and your family even more, you treat it and use it as it is a local business.
Absolutely.
And while it may have a national nameplate on it, it is a local business. You are, and everybody talks about, hey, shop local, eat local, and when they come to McDonald's restaurants in Murfreesboro, it is you're helping those 1,200 employees that you have and all of that. So
absolutely.
Is that always been your approach?
It has always been my approach. One of the things that I came into this business doing is making sure that we could create a corporate identity. I come from a corporate world. I've worked for several larger corporations, and everybody has a corporate identity and a corporate culture. And having worked in as many companies as I have, I understand that everybody's corporate culture is different. That doesn't make one right or wrong. But I wanted to make sure that we in McGuire Management Group had a corporate culture that was easily identifiable. And when you walk into one of our restaurants, I want you to know that you're in a McGuire restaurant. We understand it's a McDonald's. I've always said we are a global brand, but a local business. I'm sorry, I say it backwards. We're a local business supported by a global brand. If you walk into one of our restaurants, you'll understand how I mean. We don't wear a McDonald's uniform. We wear a McGuire Management uniform. You talk about the logo being one of the most recognizable logos in the world.
Your McGuire Management logo.
It is. I mean, we take the arches and we put a shamrock on it, playing off of the Irish nature of our name, McGuire. Right. So you'll notice that our folks wear a McGuire Management uniform. We play Christian music in the lobbies. I used to get a lot of flack about that because people were like, well, you've got some non-Christians to work for you. I'm like, absolutely we do. One of my general managers at one time was a Wiccan. I've got several Muslim and Jewish employees. I've got several Christians. I've got several agnostic employees. But, I just wanted to put a stamp on our lobbies that if you come in, we're playing Christian music because we are a Christian-owned organization. And God has blessed us, and we want to return the gratitude, and it creates a little bit of an ambiance that people appreciate, and it's also a way that you can know you're in a McGuire restaurant. When we hire, we found early on, and me coming in from the outside for so many years, understand that really nobody wants to work for McDonald's. That was the people looked at that as a bad job, which it was an unfair assessment because back in the 80s, that was the job that everybody wanted. And with good reason, it's a fantastic job, but it had gone into getting this stigma by the 2010s that nobody wanted to work for McDonald's. So we started talking about what it really was, because it's not really working for McDonald's. You're working for McGuire Management Group. You're working for a local company whose owners and management teams go to church with you. Their kids go to school with you. They're sitting in traffic with you. We have kids on the same Little League teams. I coached Little League here in Murfreesboro for several years, and my wife did as well. And my wife coached softball over at one of the local high schools. We're part of the community, and we're a local business, and you're not working for McDonald's. You are representing the brand McDonald's through McGuire Management Group. And that has proven to be what people wanted. And that's why we've been able to hire such higher quality people than historically we've been able to hire because of changing that corporate culture into that mindset. And it's really not just words. We don't identify as McDonald's. We identify as a McDonald's franchisee. And whereas my name might be the name that is listed in McDonald's records as the McDonald's franchisee, it is us as a company who are representing. My director of operations calls herself our operator, and I'm the owner. That's something we talk about because I give her the reins to operate our restaurants while I'm handling some of our other businesses or some of the above operations work that I have to do in such a large organization. So, it's all about brand identity, and it's all about making sure that people understand that it is a local business.
Jonathon McGuire is our guest today from McGuire Management, your local McDonald's franchisee here in Murfreesboro. He mentioned he had 1,200 employees, and they have a special opportunity to continue their education. We'll talk about that when we return on the Roundtable here on WGNS. Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Hey guys, if you notice a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Be sure to schedule your health assessment at Low T Center. They offer the convenience of physician-monitored, self-inject at-home testosterone treatments with an average payment of $150 a month, cash pay, including labs and medication. If you don't live near a Low T Center or just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy, shipping treatments directly to you. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Rutherford County is one of the fastest growing communities in Tennessee. This is Mike Klassen, the general manager at Middle Point Landfill. As a Class 1 landfill, Middle Point accepts non-hazardous municipal solid waste, approved special waste, and commercial waste. We have served this region for 2 decades, providing free disposal to all Rutherford County residents and low-cost disposal to Rutherford County businesses. Learn more at middlepointlandfill.com. For public services, we are sustainability in action.
Hi, this is Bob Cornell, pastor of Covenant Church right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The answer that you've been looking for is found in Jesus and what he accomplished at the cross. You see, Jesus changes lives from the inside out. We would love for you to join us at Covenant Church, located at 1124 Brinkley Ave right here in Murfreesboro. We have services Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. You can learn more about us at our Cornell Ministries YouTube channel. We want you to grow in Christ at Covenant Church.
Adams Place has been a wonderful place. I'm Greg Shannon. Our grandkids live in Bradyville, so we wanted to get closer.
Greg, what do you like most about Adams Place?
Well, the people are amazing, both the staff and, of course, the residents. Like everybody we've met so far is just unbelievably nice. Just trying to make us feel welcome, you know.
I'm Terry Deal. Call me about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111. Memorial Boulevard, across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
Don't forget, WGNS is more than happy to list the activities of your local church, civic organizations, or social groups. Get them to us at least 2 weeks before they occur. Maybe you're thinking about going to MTSU. There's a tour of the campus starting at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, February the 10th. Everyone meets in the Student Union building. That's 9 o'clock Saturday morning, February the 10th. Show your special someone how much they mean to you. Take them to the Tennessee Philharmonic's Big Band Valentine Concert. That'll be at 7 o'clock Tuesday evening, February 13th, in the View at the Fountains, over on Medical Center Parkway. You can get the tickets online at the Tennessee Philharmonic's website. Murfreesboro Medical Clinic Pediatrics' 5th Annual Storybook Breakfast will be at Overall Creek Elementary School on Saturday morning, February the 3rd. And there are 2 breakfasts. One's at 8:30 and the other's at 10. You can get the tickets online at the United Way website. That's this Saturday. And those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good Neighbor weather. Through midday today, some lingering cloud cover, gradually clearing skies into the afternoon, highs up to 47. For tonight, clear skies in the mid-20s. I'm meteorologist Michael Caro, News Radio WGNS. Right now, 40 degrees.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online or download the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Here we are with Jonathon McGuire from McGuire Management, your local McDonald's franchisee, and really getting the backstory was really cool about how the McDonald's here in Murfreesboro came to be part of the umbrella of McGuire Management. You talked about having 1,200 employees and wanting to treat them as the very best you can. And it's been, gosh, I'm going to shortchange you here. I was going to say a couple of years ago, but it's probably been longer than that when you partnered up with Middle Tennessee State University with a very unique program to help your employees better themselves by education. Kind of give folks how that started and where we are today with that.
The story is actually really cool. It has to do with COVID, actually.
Yeah.
So March 13th of 2020 is the day that my world shut down. It was the day that I thought I was going to go bankrupt. It's the day that I thought we were going to lose everything because that's when COVID really started to hit. If you think back, that's the day that NBA canceled their season. From that point through the end of the year, my team, specifically my upper management team, worked harder than I've ever seen anybody work. And they did so selflessly. They did so without question. There was a lot of, say what you want about what COVID is and what we know now. But back then, in those first days, we were all terrified. We didn't know what to do. Everybody was hunkering down. But my team was out there. I would put out daily messages on our Slack channel to my company, to my 1,200 employees, and let them know, first of all, your safety is of utmost importance. But second of all, we've got to stay open for our communities because, as I said earlier, McDonald's is a recognized brand worldwide. We are a symbol of normalcy. We are a symbol of Americana. And whether you realize it or not, and whether you think it's cheesy or not, if you see the McDonald's arches go dark and you see McDonald's lock their doors in a community, that is a sign of decline. That is a sign of defeat. So we made a pact early on among my management team. My wife and I prayed on it, and we talked about it, and we said, we're going to stay open. We're going to do everything we can to stay open, not just to make sure that the business succeeds, but also it's very important for the community. And my team just, they kicked butt. They absolutely kicked butt. So towards the end of 2020, things were looking up, and I went to my team and I said, usually we give a Christmas bonus, but what do y'all think about, instead of doing a Christmas bonus, let's go to the Bahamas. Let me take you to Nassau. Let's do a all expenses paid. Let's do it in style. So we planned. My wife was instrumental in planning this trip. So we ended up going down to Nassau for a week, and it just so happened to coincide with Dr. McPhee, president of Middle Tennessee State University, was there dealing with some family business because, as you know, he is originally from and grew up in Nassau. And Dr. McPhee is a very good friend of mine, a phenomenal guy. And he was so excited to show off his hometown to my team that he set us up with all kinds of things to do there and people to meet. We were able to meet the Governor General. We were able to meet the Prime Minister. We were able to meet other government agents and representatives. And one of the topics of conversation was how COVID had absolutely decimated the Bahamas. Shortly after, a hurricane had hit and decimated the Bahamas. It's like they had just had a 1-2 punch, and we were all having dinner. My team was sitting around a table, and Dr. McPhee and his brother and several of his friends and colleagues were sitting around the table, and we bowed and prayed over the meal, and as we ate, we were talking about this devastation that had happened in the Bahamas and how that COVID had devastated the economy here in Murfreesboro. And we were talking about what we could do within our small sphere of power and influence to better both of those places. And two things came of that. One is my wife and I made a donation to a school there in Nassau to help provide laptop computers for the students there, because they had students who couldn't even go to school because they were still remote learning, but they didn't have technology. So that's one thing that came of it. And that was a very small thing that we could do in the grand scheme of things. And Dr. McPhee and I came up with the McGuire Management True Blue Education Partnership. And what we have is the ability for McGuire Management employees to get a tuition discount. In exchange, I will pay for tuition for any employee who has shown 6 months of good performance on the job, up to 12 hours a year, 6 hours for part-time. I will pay for that, and they get it through the university college, which means they also get dedicated education counseling to help them with their education path. And we've sent several people through this program, and it's a hiring technique for us, but it's also a way that we thought you could better people's lives in Murfreesboro, because as we come out of this economic crisis, what we found was, a lot of people, weren't able to work at the jobs that they had previously because a lot of companies closed, and we ended up with employees that had no intention of staying in a service industry job. Some employees were coming into the service industry for the first time, and their desire was to move into a management role, which requires some education. So we started sending our employees through MTSU's program, through the McGuire Management Program. We've got several graduates. Several people have come to work for us only because they wanted to finish their education, so they came to work for us for in an entry-level position for 6 months to a year or whatever they needed to finish out their credits. And, we've just been able to use that as a blessing to others. And our relationship with MTSU has just absolutely grown and grown and grown, not only through the education partnership, but with our support of the athletics, with our support of some of the other schools within the university. It is my opinion that what is good for Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee is good for McGuire management.
Right.
It is also my opinion that what is good for MTSU is good for Murfreesboro. I think that there is a symbiotic relationship between MTSU and Murfreesboro in particular, but also in Greater Rutherford County and Middle Tennessee, that one success really hinges on the others. And I think that in order to be a successful business in this area, you need to ensure that you are helping the success of MTSU and Murfreesboro.
Yeah. How gratifying was it when the first McGuire management employee went through the program and you actually got to see them walk across the stage and get their diploma?
It actually brought a tear to my eye. The very first graduate happened within the first semester because we had a gentleman who heard about us on the radio, who saw us on we had an article on the front page of the Tennessean the day that we signed the announcement, and it was on the front page of the Tennessean's website. And we had a gentleman in Antioch had one semester left. He needed 3 credit hours, and he had to drop out of school because he couldn't afford to pay for those 3 credit hours. He called us after seeing us on the news and said, "Listen, I will come work for you, but I am leaving as soon because I'm in the recording industry. But I'm going to come work for you as long as you'll pay for my education. Is that something that you're willing to do?" We said, "Absolutely." He came over to the Stone Trace location in front of Kohl's and ran our grill every afternoon for 6 months and was able to finish out his education, graduated, and that was awesome. So
he was the first?
He was the very first,
Okay.
and it was one semester after we started the program. There were several others after that. But the one that really got me was those who started. Our first graduates who started MTSU
right
through the program and finished. We were able to graduate. I believe there were 3 that semester, plus my daughter. My daughter, Rebecca, actually worked for me at the time as my social media manager, and she was able to walk the stage with that first group. And it was just, it brought a tear to my eye that, I had an impact on those folks' lives. We've had several groups. We have graduates pretty much every time there's a graduation. We have somebody graduating. We went, my wife had the idea of putting stoles on them that said McGuire Management. So we've got our McDonald's logo, the McGuire Restaurant Group logo, on a stole as they're walking across the stage. So if you're at an MTSU graduation and you see somebody with a white stole with a green McDonald's logo on it, that's us. That's somebody that's came through our program, and we're very proud to associate ourselves with them.
In the business that you're in, you get a lot of people who are getting their first jobs, things like that, and it's competitive. And we've seen, minimum wage has moved up and all of that. I mean, yeah, it has been a tool for you to, try to separate yourself from other businesses, but also it helps you in the quality of employee that you recruit and hire.
It really does. And what people need to understand is within our company, as well as with pretty much any company, you've got entry-level jobs and then you've got high-level jobs, right?
Gotcha.
We are no different. I've got people who are in the highest levels of management who have multiple degrees. I've got people who have gotten their degree while they've been working for us in working up the ranks. There are entry-level jobs at McDonald's, absolutely. But
there are careers at McDonald's.
There are careers at McDonald's. My father started as a crew person, entry level, and worked his way all the way up. Ran a company for several operators, and then actually became an owner himself. Several McDonald's operators have the same story. They started out, the first thing that they learned is how to make fries. That's the first thing you learn at McDonald's. But there's a way that you can make a career. But we haven't paid minimum wage in over a decade. It's been even longer than I couldn't tell you exactly when it was, but I'd have to guess 10 to 15 years we haven't paid minimum wage. Minimum wage hasn't changed in a long time, but we have gone from, I think our average wage was about $8.75 an hour prior to 2017. Our average wage for crew people now is over $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And we are not a company who wants to keep people in a minimum wage job. We are a company who wants people to start at an entry level and work their way up, and we have all kinds of promotion opportunities. We have all types of opportunities to grow. If you want to come in and work while you're in high school and make a little extra running around money, we've got that. If you want to work part-time while you're going to college, we've got that, and we've got some great opportunities to help you with your tuition as well. In fact, if you want to go to school more time than we pay for, you get our discount. So it's better than in-state tuition. If you go to MTSU and you work for McGuire Management Group, then we'll pay for tuition to up to 12 hours, but if you want to go more than 12 hours, you get our discount on the rest of those hours, as long as you stay in good standing working. Good. So, so if you want to go to college and work part-time, we've got that. If you want to become a manager, we've got that. If you're going to college and you're learning management skills, we're going to move you into management at work as well. You're going to make more money, you're going to get more experience, and you've got a career path within our company, within the McDonald's system, the greater McDonald's system, or if you want to take that skill outside of our company, we not only, we encourage that. If we don't have a spot for you, we want to see you succeed, whether it's with us or without us. So we encourage that. Thankfully, we have had many, many, many people go through the MTSU education program and stayed with us. They used the skills that they learned at MTSU to come back and work with us and use those skills to better their job and better their restaurants. And it's absolutely been phenomenal. I'll give a shout out to one program at MTSU that we did. There was I don't know exactly what the class is called, but General Huber, who runs the.
It had something to do with leadership, I'm sure.
It is a leadership class. It was they call it an intensive, I believe, and it lasts 3 days. And we sent a bunch of our managers over that were enrolled in the program, and they did that intensive for 3 days. And they came back and said that was the single most motivating experience that they'd ever had with respect to leadership. And the people who went to that class, there was a noticeable difference in how they ran their restaurants and how they approached their jobs. So that program has been great for us. It's been great for our employees, even some of them who have left, but most of them have stayed. So it's been a really good blessing for us.
And it's been a great story to see how that has developed and also the end result of all of that. Jonathon McGuire is our guest today. We're talking McDonald's and the local McDonald's franchisee, McGuire Management. We're going to talk the fun stuff, burgers and fries, when we come back after this. You're listening to The Roundtable on WGNS.
When it comes to your home, memories and sentimental value are priceless. Farrah Construction can remodel your home or can update your kitchen, bath, or other rooms. I'm Ron Hall. If you can dream it, Farrah Construction can turn it into reality. Call Farrah Construction at 615-893-6120. That's Farrah Construction. I'm Ron Hall. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
Hey bargain hunters, listen up. This is Rodney French from French's Shoes and Boots. If bargain prizes is what you want, come to French's and shop our everyday bargain racks. These shoes and boots are out of the boxes and are always 50 to 90% off the regular retail prices. Shoe brands like Cole Haan, Joseph Seibel, Clark's, Nike, and more. Boot brands like Justin, Ariat, Corral, Chippewa, Dan Post, and many more. Out of the box, but 50 to 90% off every day. That's French's Shoes and Boots.
French's Shoes and Boots.
1837 South Church Street in Murfreesboro.
Hi, this is Lisa Halliburton with Bell Jewelers. We appreciate you shopping local and shopping small business for your Valentine this year. We have all types of jewelry and priced to meet everyone's budget, but we also carry Waterford Crystal and the Pandora jewelry, so we have a little bit of everything here at Bell Jewelers for Valentine's. 821 Northwest Broad Street, right across the street from Toots Restaurant.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
All right, we're having some McFun this morning with Jonathon McGuire of McGuire Management, your local McDonald's franchisee. Now let's get down to the basics here. Burgers and fries. And McDonald's is going through a renaissance of sort with what they call their Best Burger program.
That's right.
To tell folks what that means and what does it mean to you when you drive up to the drive-thru or go to the app and put in your order, that kind of thing?
So the Best Burger Project, actually we rolled Best Burger in the middle of last year. So if you've been a customer of McDonald's eating the beef products over the last year, you've already experienced the Best Burger Project. But what it is we have two different beef product basic patties. There's a quarter-pound patty and there's a 1/10 of a pound patty. The 1/10 of a pound patty is what we call reg meat, and reg meat is what goes on your basic cheeseburgers, your double cheeseburgers, your McDoubles, that kind of thing, as well as your Big Macs. All the Best Burger Project is the changing the cook times and the temperatures of how we're cooking them. We put the onions on the grill, unless you choose no onions. If you choose no onions, obviously we can do that. But we put the onions on the grill before we pull them off so that the juices can soak in.
And you get a little bit of caramelization.
You get a little bit of a caramelization on there, and you get it changes the flavor just a little bit and makes it a little bit more savory. Now, if you know anything about how a McDonald's works, we're kind of like a factory. And in the past, we've been known to everybody's very familiar with the Speedy system. If they saw the movie The Founder, they understand that there's a system of how we work the kitchen to be able to mass produce sandwiches so fast. That goes into cooking meat in advance, and then as the orders come in, we put the meat on the bun. Well, part of the Best Burger Project is a predictive analytics system that tells us how much meat to cook so that it is not held more than just a couple of minutes before it's put on a bun and put out the door. So whereas in the past, if you went to McDonald's in the 80s and 90s, you might have experienced having a burger that was held for up to 30 minutes. We're not doing that anymore. We're using predictive analytics and a computer system with prediction models based on the ordering systems to be able to cook basically to order. Now, the difference in that and the quarter meat, the quarter pounder meat, several years ago, it's been many years, that we stopped taking in frozen meat patties for quarter pounders. We started bringing in fresh beef only. Our quarter pounder meat has never been frozen. It comes to us refrigerated, and we don't cook that meat until you order it. So if you order anything that's got the quarter pounder patty on it, that meat does not come out of the refrigerator. First of all, it's never in the freezer. It doesn't come out of the refrigerator until you place your order. As soon as you place your order, they put that on the grill, and by the time you get around to the present window, you've paid and you come up to the present window, that's just come fresh off the grill. So you'll notice there's a big difference in the quarter pounders today than there were about 6 years ago when we started this program. It's fresher, it's hotter, it's juicier, the cheese is meltier, and we're doing the same thing with the Best Burger Project with the 10-to-1 patties so that your Big Macs have a juicier taste. It tastes fresher because it is. It absolutely is fresher.
Speaking of Big Macs, last week the double Big Mac came online.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Back when I was 15 years old was my first experience working in McDonald's. And I told you earlier that I went off and worked computer software. I was a software developer for over 20 years. But when I was 15 and early 16 years old, I did work in a McDonald's restaurant. And my favorite thing to do was on my break, make a double Big Mac. And we now have that on the menu today. So if you haven't tried that, that is amazing. It is a way to treat yourself. That's 4 pieces of meat. It's the equivalent of a quarter-pound patty, but it's on a Big Mac with the perfect amount of bread, the perfect amount of sauce, and I think it's a Big Mac on steroids. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, and the way, again, with the Best Burger Project, the patties are going to be hotter and juicier, and the grilled onions that are on there, it all works together. So that's been that got a lot of pub last week nationally. Also, we had a caller text in and wanted to know about the shake machines because
of course
because the shake machines get a lot of hubbub around the country, and they're the butt of jokes at times. But you all have taken an approach, a proactive approach to making sure that shake machines stay online.
Right. So one of my favorite memes that I've ever seen is a picture of Ronald McDonald with his hand up saying, "I will McSlap you if you ask me about the shake machine one more time." So we take that very seriously. And so a little bit of insight of what the deal with the shake machine is. First of all, it has to go through a cleaning cycle every single night. So if you go to a McDonald's restaurant at a certain period of night, especially at the 24-hour locations, that shake machine absolutely has to shut itself down for approximately 8 hours so it can go through a heat treat cycle. It cooks all of the bacteria out, it boils out, and then it refreezes. It takes about 8 hours to do. So that's one of the reasons that the shake machine is considered unreliable, is because of the cleaning cycle. And because shakes and ice cream are not a core piece of our business, they're a core piece, but not the core piece of our business, it doesn't make fiscal sense for us to have two machines. We are working on technology. McDonald's Corporation is working on technology to be able to have a machine that doesn't take the entire thing down for the heat treat process or the cleaning process. But there's a lot of nuances to that that we don't always think about. So that machine is not available yet. The machine itself is very expensive. It is a proprietary calibration. It is a proprietary mixture of air to mix to, it's very McDonald's specific. In some people's opinions, myself included, it might be a little bit over-engineered, which makes it difficult. But McGuire Management Group is comprised of mainly McGuire Restaurant Group, which is the owners of the McDonald's.
Gotcha.
But we also have a couple of other companies, and one of those is McGuire Service Company, which is the maintenance team that works on all of my equipment.
In 21 stores.
In 21 restaurants.
There you go.
They are also venturing out just this year to doing residential and other commercial applications. So if you needed a maintenance person, like a handyman of sorts, or appliance repair or something like that, we can come out and service you. But our main business is servicing the McDonald's restaurants owned by McGuire Restaurant Group, and they are very well versed in maintaining those shake machines. So our shake machines are better maintained than a lot of them around the country that you see on the internet and people making fun of. And there are times, unfortunately, when the machines are down, and there are times when parts go bad. And ever since the beginning of 2020, we've started seeing a supply chain issue getting the parts that are required to maintain a lot of our equipment. It's not just the shake machines right now. I've got one store here in Murfreesboro that hasn't been able to sell our frappes for several months because we've been waiting on a part to come in from somewhere on the West Coast, and we can't get it over here because of a shortage. So there are some reasons for the shake machines being down, but here in Murfreesboro and in the McGuire Restaurant Group locations, we have a team dedicated to making sure that we take care of those, and we are constantly looking for ways to keep those things up more and more. Believe me, I hear about it not from the general public, but from, I've got kids. My kids let me know, Dad, can't order a shake again, and I'll get on the phone. Okay, what's going on? Well, it didn't come out of heat treat. Well, we get that fixed really quick. But I've got a team that maintains that.
Good deal. All right, I want to get in two other topics here in the last 6 minutes. Number one, the McDonald's app is probably one of the most user-friendly, and if you like deals, the McDonald's app has, there's the first thing I see when I open my app, there's a row of different deals, whether it's breakfast sandwiches or, McDoubles or whatever it might be. But it is very, very user-friendly. And the only problem I ever have really with the app is when I'm crossing, if I start my order and I'm geo-fenced into one restaurant and I actually am going to the other, I have to make sure about that. But that's a me problem. That's not an app problem. That's an app good thing. But the app, what do you think the percentage of your business is now off of the technological part as opposed to walking in the store?
It's 35%.
Wow.
It's actually 35% right now, and we have a goal to get that above 50%, because It is more cost efficient for us to run a transaction if you place your order through the app and you pay through the app, which means we can pass those savings on to you in the form of deals, which is exactly why we have it set up the way we have it set up. If you download the app, it's the McDonald's app. It's, forever been the #1 downloaded app on both Google Play Store as well as iTunes. If you download the app, create an account, as you use the app, you gain loyalty points. Those turn into offers for you and personalized offers in a lot of cases. You can get a much cheaper average check out of that, but it costs us less to run because when you pull up, you've already placed your order. When you get, first of all, I like the fact that you mentioned when you're geofenced into one location because that is one of the biggest problems we have with the app, that people don't pay attention to which restaurant they're ordering from. That's very important because when you get 3 minutes away, that order that you've already paid for, it hasn't charged your credit card yet, but when you get 3 minutes away, it charges your credit card and the order shows up on our screens. So you're not even to the restaurant yet, and we've started making it. So by the time you pull into that curbside spot, we're ready to bring it out to you. As soon as you check in, we've already got it in a bag. We're just walking out the door with it, okay?
Okay.
If you go through the drive-thru, if you choose drive-thru for pickup, we don't know about it in advance. So it's better if you choose pickup in the front counter or pick up in a curbside spot. That does allow us to get more cars out of the drive-thru so that we can serve those cars faster. So it speeds up the entire process.
So I need to go curbside instead of through the drive-thru.
Curbside is one way. My preferred way that I do is I walk inside because in most of the locations, people ask me all the time, do you eat McDonald's every day? I do eat McDonald's a lot. I'm a coffee drinker, and we have the absolute best coffee. I've got McDonald's coffee sitting in my cup right here. But we've got the best coffee, and I go through my stores all the time and get coffee. But my daughter, I've got a 16-year-old daughter that goes to Rockville, and she's very involved in theater and choir and all that, and she stays at school late a lot. So pretty much every day when I pick her up from school, we go through McDonald's. I hand her my phone. She places her order, and she chooses pick up inside. I pull in. She walks inside. Her bag is sitting on the counter. She comes right out. So that's the fastest way.
Gotcha. All right. Also with the app, if you go to MTSU Games, there are extra deals that you're going to see pop up on your app. Your relationship with MTSU, we've talked about how deep it goes. You are involved in the world of college athletics with MTSU as well. And kind of give folks what that means, because we all hear about name, image, and likeness, the NIL, and you are a big part of what is going on with the NIL involving MTSU athletes. And look up Jonathon McGuire, by the way, or McGuire Management, McGuire Restaurants on Twitter, and you'll see a couple of student athletes that they have NIL deals with in a cute commercial that you'll see online. But kind of give folks a little 3-minute tutorial on that.
Yeah. So real quick on the app, anytime there's, we do all kinds of events with the sports teams, like the basketball season's going right now. So either the men's or the women's, whenever there's a steal, MTSU gets a steal in a game, the next day there'll be a coupon where you can steal a McDouble free of charge. Free. Absolutely no purchase necessary. Yeah. Just use the app to order. So, there's deals like that come out all the time, and it's related to MTSU. I have had NIL deals with a couple of student athletes already. Currently, we have Jalen Gregory on the MTSU Lady Raiders team, and Elias King, who's on the men's MTSU team. I couldn't have picked two better representatives to represent my company, my brand, as well as MTSU and Murfreesboro. They are just salt-of-the-earth people. They are fantastic young folks, and they happen to be two of the best players on their respective teams. Mm-hmm. They happen to both be number 10. So we played off of that and made a commercial. We filmed a commercial with each of them, and we put some of the clips together to have a commercial with both of them together. So we've got 3 spots that are available out on X, as well as, I think, Facebook and Instagram, that feature them with their favorite meal, the 10-piece nugget combo, which with them being number 10, that plays well. And it also plays off the Elias's ability to dunk and Jalen's love for the fact that he dunks. Her dunk is better. It's where the nugget goes into the barbecue sauce. Yeah. But, NIL is I love college athletics, and NIL is a tough topic. I am of the opinion that I don't think college athletes should be making more than pro athletes. But I'm also grateful that the rules have changed to allow college athletes to profit and make something off of their name, their image, and their likeness for what they bring to a town or for a university. Because these guys, their full-time job is an unpaid position practicing for their respective sports, and their respective sports brings value to the community. So there is a line and a balance that we've got to do there, and I am one of the founders and the CEO of the brand new collective associated with Middle Tennessee. It's called the Raiders Rising Collective. We are still in the infancy stage. We should be creating our social media accounts this week. There will be opportunities for people to join the collective, but we're going to be very studious of a couple of things. We want to make sure that we stay within the guidelines of the NCAA. We are not going to be involved in recruiting or anything like that. We do not have an association with the university other than them recognizing us as a collective. And we just want to help take care of student athletes as they provide value to the school and to the community, and we want to support athletes in the Middle Tennessee area. I've been doing it, individually for a couple of years now, and we love the relationship that we've got with Elias and Jalen, and we thank them for everything that they do for us, and we want to continue those relationships. And this collective will just provide an avenue for anyone else who wants to have a relationship with one of the student athletes to be able to do that outside of the university. There's a lot of people that want to give to the university, but they're like, well, over the years, I don't like this person at the university, or I don't like that person, or I don't like what they did here. This is a way that you can give directly to the athletes through the collective, and it's not associated necessarily with the university, and it's completely on the up and up, and we do everything we can to stay in compliance with NCAA regulations. It's called Raiders Rising.
Raiders Rising, and you'll be hearing more about that as time goes along. But Jonathon, thanks so much. This has been a really fun and enlightening hour, and really, I think, brought home the point that the Worldwide brand is a local business right here.
Absolutely. I thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Good deal. Jonathon McGuire has been our guest today. If you missed any of this, you can find it on the podcast section of WGNSradio.com. Brian Barrett's coming up next, and keep it here all day on the Big G, WGNS.